Okay, in the sky replacement demonstration, always check detect outside edges when replacing skies. Now I'm going to select the magic wand tool and I'm going to go into the tolerance and keep it at 20. I want to make sure that you're always adding to the selection. That's very important. And now I'm going to, using the magic wand tool, I'm going to begin clicking on the sky and in the pond as well. And I just keep clicking away as I'm adding to my selection. I'm going to select similar, which is selecting similar pixels. That's very, very important. And now all the pixels are selected, including those in the pond. They're all the same color tones and values. Now I'm going to click on Detailed Cutout, and it's going to bring me into the selected mask mode. In the earlier versions, it was referred to as Refine Edge. And now I'm going to take my Refine Edge brush, and I'm going to slowly go around the tree, and I'm going to remove all the unwanted sky behind the leaves and the branches of the tree. There we go. And I will continue to do it around the pond as well. I'm just going to slowly remove all the white fringing so the sky will reflect into the pond. And also here on the left of the pond as well, I'm going to remove the white fringing there as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up here, just adding a little bit more refining, and that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to hit OK. And you want to make sure that the background is always selected when you drag in your sky. By selecting the background, the new sky will always be positioned behind the foreground. So make sure you select that background as I'm showing you right here. And now we're going to drag the sky in. Now what I want to do is dial back the opacity to match the mood of the foreground. Make sure you select the layer, the sky layer. There's the opacity slider. Now drag it back to the left until it matches the mood of the foreground. And that looks pretty good. This demonstration is using the quick mask mode where I'm able to paint on the mask and remove the unwanted pixels. So let's go ahead and we'll detect the outside edges. Make sure that's selected when you do skies. Now we're going to go ahead with the magic wand tool and I'm going to select the tolerance of 32 and make sure that you add to the selection. Make sure that's checked. Now I'm going to click inside and I'm going to choose areas where we want to remove the unwanted sky. I'm not going to do too much of it because I'll be able to go to select and I'm going to go to similar and I'm going to select similar pixels. So all the hue and the tonations will be selected, but unfortunately, as you can see, sometimes it also spills into the foreground. But that's not a problem because we can get rid of that by painting on the mask. So what I want to do is I want to be able to get rid of those by painting on the unwanted pixels. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select my brush tool and I want to make sure that it's hard. So I'm going to right click inside the image here and I'm going to put the hardness to 0 and that just gives me better control. Now I'm just going to go ahead and hit D on my keyboard, bringing up the foreground being black, and now I'm going to be able to paint out those nasty pixels. And as you can see, I'm going to do that here just at the first part. Now let me click out of the quick mask and you'll see that they're gone. Let's click back in. I'll do a little more touch up here and I'll start painting away. Take a look again and they're gone. And then one more time we'll do a final touch up. I'll enlarge my brush with the bracket keys and with one big fell swoop you'll see that all the nasty pixels in the foreground have been eliminated. Now we're going to do the detailed cutout. So after finishing the masking and the removal of the pixels, let's go ahead to the detailed cutout. And what I'm going to accomplish here is I'm going to start erasing, if you will, all the white fringing behind the leaves and the branches. And I'm going to very meticulously go around everything. I'm going to keep sizing my brush larger and smaller using the bracket keys. It'll save me time the larger, but I want to also get a little bit smaller. Say I don't touch up the bark of the trees. And now let's go around the tree line on the left hand side as well, and I'll just keep painting away until I feel comfortable that much if not all of the white fringe is gone. So with that having been done, I think we're going to hit OK. And now if I select the background layer, that means that the sky will be brought behind the foreground layer. So let me just go ahead now and select that. And now I want to drag in the sky. And this is the donor sky that's in our collection. And as you see, when I drag it in, it's going to go behind the castle because I had selected the background layer. Now I'm going to enlarge it using Command T, or in your case, if you have a PC, it'd be Control T. And what I want to do is dial back the opacity. And because we have a neutral gray layer underneath it rather than a transparent layer, we can do that. And as you can see here on the right, I'm dialing back the opacity. I'll take it all the way to the left and now move it slowly to the right until it matches the mood of the foreground. I can't tell you how often I'm asked, where should I set my tolerance setting? The Adobe default value is 32. If you've selected everything that you wanted on the first try, that's great. If it's selected more than you wanted, then lower the tolerance setting. The same applies if you selected less than raise the tolerance setting. I'll show you how this all works on a sky. Okay, I'm going to select the Magic Wand tool and we're going to go crazy. We're going to do a tolerance of 200. And remember, Adobe's is 32. As you can see, the spill is way into the foreground, which is absolutely ridiculous. So now let's go ahead and let's set the tolerance to 4. We're going to go from 200 to 4. This is an extreme example, of course. And now at 4, let's go ahead and hit the quick mask, and as you can see, it's hugging the building perfectly. So the bottom line is that you're going to have to work with tolerances yourself. Now let's use the tolerance of 4. And now I'm going to click on Detailed Cutout after my final selection. And now I'm in the Selected Mask mode, also known as Refine Edge. And let's just go ahead and refine the edges of the trees here, the tree line. And then I'm going to go around the tree line just to the left of the tall steeple. And I'll just clean that area up a little bit. And then to the very left of the steeple and finish cleaning that up, and then we're going to go ahead and select OK. And give me a second here, we'll just finish that up as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Okay, now I'm going to select the background layer that will ensure that the new sky will be positioned behind the foreground layer. Okay, I'm going to drag in the new sky from our collection. And I'm going to reposition it. There we go. And what I want to do is dial back the opacity to see that the sky opacity fits the opacity or mood of the foreground layer.